Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy Winskip. I am Toddy Winskip. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being a part of my day. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your day. Guys, you see this comment? You see this comment? That's a threat, right? That's a threat. That's not okay. That's somebody who's team Gypsy. That doesn't look good for Gypsy. I don't think Gypsy's really responsible for that comment. I don't think Bree is responsible for that comment. I think Boston is responsible for that comment because apparently that's the comment she made when somebody asked questions in the chat. Well, they were on the phone in a live. They were respectful. They didn't raise their voice. It was such a classless and it really looks stupid. I want to go over this video. I want to break it down because, see, Bree, you need to see where you went wrong here. And what happened was you misunderstood this woman and you ran with it. And please be open to this because you're going to lose your shit. TikTok, is that any income for you or whatever? Because it was shut down because of something Boston said. Boston, why would you make a comment like that? That you threaten somebody because they had a difference of opinion. Once upon a time, I think you had a difference of opinion. Why would you threaten somebody like that? That I mean, who are you to do that? I hope that this woman presses charges against you because you deserve it. You know, this is the thing that makes content creators look bad. It's one thing to squabble with each other, but this is a threat. This is a threat. And for you guys saying, well, didn't you do with Fancy? I challenge anybody to show me the video that says I said that Fancy abused her dogs, because I didn't say that. I said what I heard. I said because Fancy gets unhinged and Fancy can't control herself. And I heard a dog yelp, and I even put a timestamp. So what do you want me to say? I didn't say she did it. I said I couldn't see it. I said, but I deduced it. Look up the word deduce. Guys, we're assuming things about Gypsy Rose. We're assuming things about Nick Godejohn. We're assuming things, I guess, about each other, right? Somebody sent me something on a live stream. That was it. That was it. But your defense, Fancy, in all fairness, was bullshit because we heard the whole video about he stepped in dog shit, and you tell us he didn't say he stepped in dog piss. I mean, I don't even care. I don't even care. The dog's not even here anymore. I would hope that you don't abuse animals. But I mean, you yell and scream at people because they disagree with you, and then you say something totally different. It's bullshit. This, however, is an obvious threat to somebody that didn't raise their voice. What? Not even like I just did. This isn't okay. This behavior is horrible behavior. And you can't do that. You can't say things like this and expect there to be no repercussions. Bree's TikTok got shut down. I mean, they closed that after that. I don't blame her. I don't blame TikTok. You know, I don't know if she got it back, but that's not good. That's bad behavior. And let's go over the video because I want to show you something. And Bree, you say you're open-minded. Please be open-minded to this. And Dreamer, just stop. When you show me your credentials, Dreamer, then we could start talking. But in the meantime, this isn't about you. This isn't even about your opinion. This is about going over something that everybody in your little thing was a part of. and how it went down. So let's listen to it. I want us to listen to it, please. And everybody else, please, let's learn how not to jump the gun. Because this woman didn't deserve this.
Hey friends, today's video is a bit different from my usual content, but I came across something that really shocked me. While watching a discussion about Nicholas Godejohn, things spiraled out of control and turned into a heated argument. During this, a Boston individual, I don't know who she is, made a physically violent threat against another creator called Jessica Ann. I want to make it clear that I wasn't part of this discussion. I actually avoid creator drama at all costs, but witnessing this kind of behavior was absolutely disgusting. Jessica Ann didn't threaten anyone, and what happened here was completely unjustified. These kinds of threats against other creators are unacceptable and need to stop. I felt it was important to share this so you can hear what was said and form your own opinion. Let me know your thoughts after watching.
That he even had autism.
No, Nick has said himself that he said that he's high functioning, which I know they don't really use those labels anymore, but that's what Nick said about himself. He said that he was like the top in his special ed class. Nick's not dumb. Have you seen?
He said he would do it again.
Yeah,
exactly. There's a video out too, and you better realize this. Elsie put it out there that time, where Nick said,
told her that
he always wondered what it would be like to unlive somebody.
So guys, there's a couple of things that I want to unpack there. One of the things is that you never see all of the text messages or all of the communication, I should say, because, there's communication on Facebook, there's communication on WhatsApp, there's communication, and there was it might not have been WhatsApp, but there was communication on several different platforms. So we don't see all of them, and for us to see them consecutively in the way that they should go, we should have everything laid out in front of us, and that we don't have. And that's just truth. That's fact. So when Dreamer says, you got to remember about the video, how he says, we don't know if that was something to please Gypsy or not. Somebody said, he said he'd do it over again. I remember him saying that. I don't know if he would do it over again now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's asked, would you do it over again now? He was still convinced at that time when he said, that he would do it again. He was still convinced that Dee had ABUSED Gypsy. So he still didn't have the facts when he said that. That's just true, guys. That's just true. No, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm talking about that panel, but that's just true. So you guys really can't argue that because those are facts. So I'm debunking some of the stuff you're saying just because of facts, guys. Just because of facts.
Yep. But also, wait, he told that even if he told her she had autism, wait a minute. You know how I might have autism, to be honest. You know how hard it is to get a diagnosis, though?
So at the beginning, they were talking about how he was a high-functioning autistic, that he said that. He said he was a high-functioning a guy with autism. That's what Bree said that he said. And then she says now how difficult it is to get that diagnosis. He was on permanent assistance for the rest of his life. So how hard it was to get a diagnosis, he got one. I don't know how high-functioning he is as autistic, because according to the government that doesn't give out anything, they didn't think he could hold a job, Bree. So again, you could yell and scream. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you, and these are your own words too. So don't get mad at the person that's showing you the mirror. Get mad at what's in the mirror. That'd be you. Okay, so
does that mean if I go murder somebody tomorrow, you're gonna be out here on the TikTok streets telling people that she didn't know what she was doing?
Bree, you sound ridiculous because that's not what anybody's saying. What people are saying is that Nick should have a fair reconsideration, not that he didn't know what he was doing. He never ever once says that he doesn't know what he was doing. He says that he did it. So I don't know what you're talking about there because he never ever ever says that he didn't know what he was doing. You don't listen, Bree. You don't listen to people. I don't think he realizes that he unalived an unalived person. But you and I are going to disagree on that, because, and I'm going to show you exactly what that other woman said. You have one side of the story that you're going to believe, and we have another side. You're coming from it this way, we're coming from it that way. All that woman said that you had the argument with, that Boston threatened, wait till you see how ridiculous it is. Wait till you see what you did. Wait till you see. I can't wait for you to see what you did because you look silly. And there's people on your panel that their actions were disgusting. I can't imagine that if Gypsy had any kind of publicity or people doing her PR, that they would be pleased with the live that came out and had that threat on it. But wait till you see how stupid it was for everything here, because you accuse that woman of her saying that you were taking Gypsy's word and she was taking Nick's word, and she said that because that's the way she speaks in her country. But before she said that, she tried to tell you, you're coming from it as defending Gypsy. I'm coming from it as defending Nick. I'm believing what happened with Nick. You're believing what happened with Gypsy. And that's when you threatened to kick her off the panel because you went to, I'm only believing what Gypsy said. You didn't listen to her. And you didn't listen to her, Bree. Again, Bree, you got a bad habit of not listening to people. Take that on board. That's a character defect. We all have character defects. I talk with my hands. A lot of people don't like it. I can't just, but you got to listen to people. Twice I just showed you didn't listen. And this isn't coming from nastiness. This isn't coming from that.
I mean, if that's how we're going to do it, I mean, do you know Elon Musk has autism? Elon Musk.
Jessica.
He has autism.
Jessica, did you watch Nicholas Godejohn's interview in 2018 when he told
Jessica's asking to come up on panel.
Okay.
I wouldn't let her.
He told the interviewer that when Dee Dee saw him standing over her, she said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm your worst nightmare, B."
Yep.
Look, I know y'all don't like Gypsy, and neither do I.
We heard that he said that. We're saying, I believe, after listening, because I listened, we're saying that he was playing a role that Gypsy, and we can prove in the past, has a history of role playing. Nick didn't have a history of that, but Gypsy did. So all we're saying is, and it's possible, unless you believe everything Gypsy says, then nothing is possible. You'll never open up to anything more if you 100% believe everything Gypsy says, okay? Then, it makes no sense to even have discussions. You're just being a mouthpiece for Gypsy, Bray. But when you have things like this and people are asking critical things that make sense, I mean, your argument shouldn't be to shut them out and threaten to kick them off. That's not it, and that's what you do here over something really silly, and it makes your argument really, really weak. And again, I'm not raising my voice. I'm not coming at you. I'm telling you that this is something that is just not, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. And, you could believe Gypsy, but not everybody has to believe Gypsy. Gypsy's told many stories about the same thing several different ways, Bree. Bree, Gypsy supposedly had over 30 surgeries, right? How come she has 4 scars? I'm just asking. I just want you to think about it. Just think, isn't it fair that we ask these questions if she wants us to believe that she was a victim of Munchausen by proxy? How come she only has so many scars? How come she knew that the thing that she wrote to Aaliyah was the sickness I'm sick because all of my sicknesses are because of this micro deletion? What about that? That itself tells you that she knew that there was issues. And you know that she said that her mom had all these illnesses at the end. Bree, these are Gypsy's words too. And, you can't get upset when people question them when they don't make sense. They just don't make sense. Help us make them make sense. Help us make them make sense.
But come on, this is not okay.
And the other thing you got to consider,
Let's unmute. Let's unmute. I want to hear what
kept her
Jessica's got to say.
Yeah,
like
at
a
the end of the
prisoner. She
Dreamer,
wasn't
mute.
mature,
Dreamer.
so she wouldn't have recognized it.
Okay.
So I've
Dreamer,
joined live and I've asked one question, which was the video about Nick. Now, I'm quite defensive about the videos that are made about him because there are so many out there. I am not saying that you, Brie, have made a video about Nick's mum. I'm not saying that, but that has happened. There's so many
people have made horrible videos about Gypsy too, though. I mean,
Go through my profile. There is not one single video about her. Not one. I won't make one.
But that doesn't mean Bree has to not make one about Nick.
Now, never once does this woman say she can't make a video about Nick. Never once does she say that to Bree. She never once says you can't make a video. She's asking for consideration about certain things. That's all. And then she's asking questions, and that doesn't go well.
She has
I'm not
every right
saying it
to.
does, but I came in to see, because previously you've not been badmouthed in the MPG Cornerstone group, never, not once.
well, I mean, they did make a video with me in it, but yeah, but I mean,
aside from that, you've not been badmouthed.
from that, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
In all fairness, I don't know about the video that they put out that had to do with Bree, and I think I've seen all the videos. Of course, it wasn't about me, so it's not going to be something that I'm going to remember. But, if they put a video out that was derogatory about Bree, she has every right to, defend herself and speak up about that for sure.
I mean, I thought Nina's bit in it was worse. Like,
No, Nina's bit was worse, but they called me. They were literally calling me a trans. Okay, they called me trans. They called me a scissor sisters with Christy Blanchard. They made me really skinny because they thought I was on rugs.
do you not honestly think though, Christy's weird? Do you not honestly?
When I think Christy's weird, no, I don't think Christy's
I think
weird.
as a parent myself, yeah, the last thing I would be doing for my children, stepchildren or not, they come out of prison, the last thing I'm doing is thrusting them into social media knowing.
Wait, Christy did that? I didn't know. Did you have a conversation with Christy? She told you she did that?
Pretty sure there were several sources that said that it was Christy that had everything set up for Gypsy and actually had made certain deals with production companies. I thought that was common knowledge too. So
she wasn't the one getting all the deals and like going on all the
No.
TV shows.
No, like what do you mean? No.
She didn't make money because she
You don't
didn't
know
make-
Christy. You're just like regurgitating what people are saying. No, like Christy doesn't make. Gypsy barely did stuff with the media while she was in prison, except in the beginning.
But do you see what you've just said?
Mushu, bye,
Do I know
Mushu.
Christy? No. Do you know Nick?
Who said I knew Nick? I'm basing things off of.
No, you're asking if I know Christy because
No,
I've
you're
got an opinion on
you see
Christy.
you see what you just said though in the video I'm gonna be making. You're not gonna find me saying any rumors or making up assumptions. I'm basing everything off of
The
evidence.
public knows more about Nick than they know about Christy.
pretty sure during some sort of publicity thing that Gypsy did that she had talked about how Christy had set up these deals, like the the documentaries and stuff. Not the act, but the documentaries, because Christy reached out to make sure that Gypsy's story was told truthfully. Remember? That stuff occurred when she was in prison. Gypsy had said that Christy had helped her do because she couldn't do it. She couldn't set up those deals, and they got rid of Rachel Garlick then. So
And that's because
Right,
he
but my
killed
point is,
someone.
you comparing apples with oranges. You're saying, well, you don't know Nick.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think the public does know more about Nick than they know about Christy, because Nick's not had the opportunity to speak. He's chosen not to speak.
Okay, but listen. Okay, let me just say,
Christy, who was
let
not
me just say
directly
this.
involved in it all. Christy,
Can I just say one thing so I can compare what you're trying to say? Why? Can I just say this one thing and then I'll shut up? You comparing apples to oranges, and this is why. I'm not talking about. I'm basing everything that I talk about on this video about things like from his trial, from the text messages, from his messages with friends, from like things that he has come out of his own mouth. You just now said something about Christy that people just assume. So no, it is a big difference, because what I'm going to be doing is not talking bad about him.
She's not doing a biography. It's more of a documentary, not a biography. So she don't need to know Nick personally.
Let me ask you that. What's the purpose of it?
What's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Because I think
She has a mission.
A question.
Dreamer, hold on, let me finish it. People,
Let them speak, y'all. Let them speak.
there's a very false narrative that has been pushed like extremely far and wide, and I think that it's only fair that people. There's one perspective of this case that no one has spoken on, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
there's been at least 3 documentaries, 1 movie, and let's see, what else? Specials, books, television shows. What else? All with Gypsy's side. So when this woman says Nick's side, he hasn't spoken. He hasn't spoken, I gotta say. He needs to speak. But it's true. How many sides can you tell? I mean, the fact that Gypsy says something each time she opens her mouth, Bree, I don't understand why you can't see that. 1 minute she doesn't think it's a real gun. The next minute she knows it's a BB gun. The next minute she doesn't think it's a BB gun. The next minute she runs away from home and her mom finds her because she lost the phone. The next minute her mom finds her because the phone was in the backpack. The next minute her mom finds her because the computer was on. The next minute somebody called her mom. Come on, how many stories can there be on one simple thing? I'm asking you. Please, I'm asking you.
Can I just
that must be what y'all trying to protect. Like, you almost know exactly what I'm going to do.
Let me just respond to one of your comments. Christy has a right to tell her story. What story? What story? Is
What
it her
story? The story of being a stepmother that you don't think everybody who's involved, every family member, like Mia has a story. Her sister, who she never really got to know, like ended up murdering her mother. That affected her life too. Like, what do you mean? I have a story now.
They have more of a right to talk about it than.
And here it begins. Here it begins. She has more of a right to talk about it than who? Than who? And why did that come up? We all could talk about it. We've all been talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. The reason why everybody's talking about it is because it was on television so many times. The stories are all different. Gypsy cannot keep her lies straight. That's a fact. You can see that. You can't argue that when you see that she is told several different untruths. You see that. Again, 30 surgeries, 4 scars. Knowing she had a microdeletion, she was legitimately sick. That takes away the Munchausen. Can't you see that? It does. It takes it away. I'm sorry that you don't like that. But the facts are the facts. That's black and white. That takes it away. Somebody said that she was held captive. That's what Dreamer said. Because Gypsy said so? That's what you're believing. You're believing what Gypsy said, but there was never anything in the house that showed that she was kept captive anywhere. There was no dog collars. There was nothing. There was pink fuzzy handcuffs, dreamer. So where was she kept? And Gypsy's telling, Aaliyah how sick her mom was this whole time. You see her mom. You know that Gypsy could leave on her own without having to do that. You know that Gypsy could have outran her mom. What about that? Address that.
Everybody else.
Right, I don't agree with Nina. I'm not going to sit here and say to you like I'm one of the people who follows every single creator who creates drama, because I'm not that person. I'm genuinely not. I've sat by for the last year and I've watched certain creators be in the MPG Cornerstone Nation group and just lurk for months on end, watch videos requesting Nick's mum not be spoken about, and then a week later go and make a video about exactly that. Like,
Yeah, but that's not what I'm doing.
and I've not
That's
said
not what I'm
anything.
doing.
But I don't know that. I came on to ask and I got literally attacked.
I got to give this woman a lot of credit because that's the truth. She got verbally attacked by 3 people. This one woman who never raised her voice and never showed any disrespect, but was simply asking questions, which you can ask. You're doing a live. You invited her on the panel, and that's all she's doing. She's not doing anything wrong. Nothing wrong.
Attacked
No,
by...
you didn't get attacked. You did not get
Yes, I
attacked.
did. By 30 of your comments. I don't know if you're reading those comments as you go or whether you're just reading mine, but I was getting attacked by your comments. I've had people messaging me like, Jesus, girl, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay.
Since you've been in here, people
Don't
are
worry about me. I've got my own back. Like, I don't need 30 people in the comments to have my back. I'm here because of what I believe in and what I stand for. And that is, Nick is autistic. My son is autistic. I dread the day where
And you
he
know
grows
what?
up and
really
somebody may
sad.
take advantage of my son.
You know how many people you know how many people from that community completely disagree with what you're saying right now? Like, basically what you're saying is every single person who has autism should be excused.
Once again, Bree, you're not listening. What she says is she's concerned about people like Gypsy because of her son. She's worried about her son. That's what she's saying. She's worried about somebody controlling her son's mind. And she's sharing that with you. And that's not what you're hearing. That's not what you heard. What you heard was everybody with autism. No, not everybody, because you're right. There are very high functioning. But you brought up Elon Musk and him having autism, right? And with the Amber Heard thing, he is a person that clearly, when he wants something, he goes after it and he holds on to it like a dog with a bone, very much like Nick did with Gypsy. So you want to bring that up? The fact that Elon Musk has some sort of genius in him as well, he has autism and he has some sort of genius with him. So he's got some autistic traits and he's got some of the genius traits.
No, I'm not saying that.
Pretty much.
I'm absolutely not saying that. But at the end of the day, I asked you a question in comments earlier. Do you know what coercive control is? Because I know it's not really a thing in the US.
What?
Coercive control. Have you heard of that?
Who has control?
It's called coercive control.
Coercive, like
Yeah, so it's like it's domestic violence related in our country usually, but it can be used in cases like this. And I know because it's an unfamiliar concept in the US, like you're probably not going to agree with what I'm saying, but a lot of the text messages that were sent to him come across as coercive control. There's a lot of love.
What?
Guys, Bree gets defensive here. The coercive control is exactly, I even spoke about that, but I think I didn't speak about it in the Gypsy and the Nick thing, in the Nick regard. I don't think I did, but I always said that, he had the weaker mind and she took control over that. And That is coercive control. I definitely used it with Scientology things. And the Micah Miller case brought coercive control into our light here. And there are laws in our states, different states now, that it's against the law to do that. So coercive control could be somebody who marries somebody and they're in this country and they control that person because they have all of the money, they have the passports, they have everything. They could also control somebody if they are the breadwinner and that person just happens to be a stay-at-home mom. Anything could be controlled if that person needs something from the other person and the other person uses it as a weapon. Coercive control. There it is. Okay? So what this woman is saying is, listen, it could be argued that those messages, those text messages were a response because of the coercive control Gypsy had over Nick. Now, she even said it took her over 2 years to get him to do this because he kept saying, no, 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 no. You guys can't deny that. That stuff is true. Okay? So what this woman is saying is take that into consideration because for 2 years or more, basically, this has been going on and she has learned how to rule his mind because he is weaker in mind than she is. So she's bringing up the argument of coercive control. And excuse me, it's valid. But because Bree doesn't understand it, it turns into a hot mess. Instead of saying, no, I'm not familiar with that, this woman is trying to explain, and it turns into a hot mess because Bree, she's not humble at all. There's no humility there. You didn't know what it meant. The woman was trying to tell you it's no big deal. You didn't know what it meant. Okay, but I mean, look at what it turned into.
Did you hear some of the messages he sent her that nobody has talked about yet? There's a lot of messages that Nick sent that nobody knows about.
That is wild.
There's literally no point in being here.
That is
So
wild.
coercive control.
Who is making that noise?
No, it's not me. It's not.
I'm sorry. That's wild.
Coercive control is like love bombing. I'm sure you know what that is. So like laying it on thick, like no disrespect, it might piss you off because your friends are there.
No, it's not gonna piss me off because I'm friends with the. It's not gonna piss me off at all. It's like girl, we can read these text messages right now. Like complete opposite. Like Gypsy would try to be talking about normal stuff, and Nick would always bring it back to sex.
Right.
Always bring it back.
When she's like, I'm not here anymore, it's Kitty. Like, I can't remember word for word what she's saying, but when she's like, oh, you nearly lost me, all of that, what's that then? Because Gypsy hasn't got any type of mental health disorder.
Wait, what do you mean? Remember what he said? Do you remember the text messages when he said, when she brings up another name and she's like, says something about Carl, and he's like, oh, you're catching on, good job. She was doing that for him, and she was like, oh, you're catching on, and they were bouncing back and forth from Facebook to text messages, so we don't see half the conversation, but that's when they were like doing their little role play. That was her and Nick involved.
And obviously we don't see all the text for all time anyway, we only see in the lead up to what actually happened. So
but if you pay attention,
no clue, I have no clue what was said other than the word that we're taking of the people that we're supporting.
But they're all over the internet. You can find them.
That's the only fact. You're taking Gypsy's word for it.
No, I'm not.
Now again, Bree didn't listen because the woman says, the difference is that we're taking the sides of the people that we're supporting. You're taking Gypsy's word. I'm taking Nick's word. There's nothing wrong with that because that's exactly the truth. That she's taking Gypsy's side because that's what she believes. This woman is taking Nick's side because that's what she believes. And Bree she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. She wants to focus on very specific things and flip it because she has no real argument.
You see, that's the problem. Like, look, I will kick you off this panel right now if you say that again. Because I'm so fucking tired of people saying that. I was doing this shit before I knew Gypsy. You're not going to come in my live and tell me I'm taking Gypsy's word. No, Jessica. What I do is I read shit and I like look.
But you're reading it with a different mind frame, then, aren't you? Because most people read it, and most people sit there and think, "Wow, that's really fucked up."
No,
on
they
both
didn't think
sides.
that until Gypsy was released, until the narrative got pushed around.
No. From the moment of watching the act, genuinely, it was a shit show.
The act? That's what you're basing shit off the act?
Yeah. No, it was a shit show. Listen to what I'm saying. If you don't let me get my sentence out, you don't.
So again, this woman is trying to explain herself, and she is just getting bombarded. They're not letting her speak at all. She's trying to say, I think she's trying to say that she looked into it when she watched the act, but she didn't get the chance to say that because, you know, Bree, I guess, was threatened by the conversation because you don't listen, Bree. You don't listen. This woman is simply saying that you guys are coming from two different sides, and you threatened to throw her off the panel because you took it as an insult. That's your problem. Clearly, can you see? Hopefully, you saw what a big deal you meant out of somebody's wording from a different country. You know, because if you would have listened again, she said, you know, well, we're supporting two different people and there's two different sides. And you know what? That's true. Why are you arguing that? That's true. She said that you're, you know, going on Gypsy's side and she's going on the other, and you got so defensive, but you are. You are. And you can read books and you could do this and you could do that. But the one thing I find you can't do is listen, Bree. You don't listen.
That's a dramatic show. I will kick you out of this panel right now if you're gonna like.
That's absolutely fine. I'll go live on my own.
I'll put out the video today if you want. I'll put out the video today. I don't give a fuck if you like the video.
Do you think I'm scared of whatever you're threatening me with?
I'm threatening
Do you think?
bitch,
Do you think that Bree's
Get
not
the
going to
fuck
do the
out of
video
here.
because you don't think she should?
No wonder you're on Cruise Team. Look at the way you behave.
No, disconnect this bitch.
Actually, no
Disconnect
clash.
this.
You are just.
Do I really need to say something? Bunch of fucking animals not letting somebody speak. Woman hasn't raised her voice, hasn't been disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, and she's being cursed at, and you don't call that attacking somebody? Are you stupid? Are you really that stupid that you don't call that attacking somebody? You can't find where this woman has been disrespectful, where this woman has raised her voice. I challenge you and dare you to show me that in this video that you guys have cursed her out, ridiculed her because of what she believes. Like, I mean, are you that afraid of this woman's argument? You guys, you're bullies and you're pathetic. Wow. Wow.
Proper tech trailer
Disconnect this
park.
bitch.
Just block her.
Talk about I'm threatening her. Get the fuck out of here. Boston. Talk about I'm threatening her. Get the fuck out of here. Threatening her about putting a video about Nick. What are you, Nick's? Are you Nick himself? Talk about I'm threatening her. Get the fuck out of here.
If any of you think that this is going to be a Bree or Gypsy bashing sesh, I'm going to bring my mod balls out, and then you can go cry about why you got blocked. You want to
It's never gonna
be
end.
respectful, fine.
You know how
But
long
you're not going to bash
Gypsy?
Bree or Gypsy.
Again, the pattern is Bree has no ears. She has no ears and a few mouths, apparently, and apparently other people on that panel does too. Seems like there's one person on that panel that is trying to keep everything level-headed, and it's not Dreamer, and it's not Boston, and it's not Bree, and I don't know who she is, but she's the other voice that tries to. She's the only one that said, you know, let her speak, and you know. But anyway, you know, again, Bree didn't listen. You had said something to the woman about threatening to put a video out there. You were saying it like you're going to put that video out there. You don't care. And she said, I don't know what you're trying to threaten me as. And you turned it into, All you had to say to her was, I'm not threatening you. I didn't give that impression. If I gave that impression, why did you say that? You didn't do that. With the tone, it sounded like a threat, like, fuck you, I'm going to do this anyway, which is basically what you said. And she took it the way you said it, and then you turned it into, I'm not threatening. But wait, it doesn't matter, because guess what, Bree? Somebody on your panel does a physical threat. And I really hope this woman goes to the police and presses charges, because it's disgusting. It's classless. It doesn't belong in this community. It's disgraceful. And at that person's age that said it, at that big age, I'd be really concerned. I'd be really concerned. It's disgusting. That woman didn't deserve it. She never once raised her voice. She never once was disrespectful. And look at what you guys did. And there's no excuse. The video's out here. Not one time was she disrespectful or raised her voice, even when 3 of you were yelling at her like animals. Classless.
But I'm making a video about Nick based on truth. I'm not adding nothing to it. You see, that's the problem. Most creators, they need to add all this juice. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I'm showing things for exactly what they are. I'm not taking them out of context, which most people do. People show Nick's interrogation, and all they show is the part where he admits to what he did. They don't show the rest of it. They never do. Like, they cut and clips out of it. Like, but what you're not going to do is come in here and twist my... I'm not afraid of what you're threatening you. Girl, get the fuck out of here. That it's never gonna end, because you see what's that. Like, I have sat for a year and never made this video. I have sat back and watched multiple people, even the people that never really talk, even MPG Cornerstone, you know, they don't really talk about Gypsy much. But then when they do put videos out, they make it to where like Nick's truth is the only truth, and Gypsy can basically go fuck herself.
Yo, you stupid idiot. Did you not read the book that your best friend wrote? Did you not read everything she wrote about Nick? Did you not hear everything she said about Nick? Did you not hear every time she opens up her mouth, her story is about Nick? Did you not hear her change her story on the stand about Nick? Did you not hear her say that Nick SA'd her and then on the stand said Nick didn't? Did you not hear all of that? So you know the truth? You know the truth? Bree, you wouldn't know the truth if you sat on it and it went up in you. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it, because it's more important to you to be liked by somebody that you think is famous, because you weren't liked before. That's your thing. You can't bring it on to everybody and make everybody think that you are popular now. You just look stupid. Look at this video and look at how stupid you look, because somebody asked a couple questions. And I can't wait for your sidekick here.
Okay, but I still didn't make one disrespectful video about Nick. And now that I'm finally going to put together a video of things that I've been researching and digging into for over a year now, something that I know the ins and outs of, because I waited a year to make this video. And you're going to come in here acting like I can't make that video because you never made a video about Gypsy?
And she never said that. She never said you can't make a video. Never once. Never once. All she wanted you to do was take into consideration a theory. And all you had to do was say to her, listen, take your theory someplace else. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm writing what I need to write. But again, you didn't do that. You didn't handle yourself with class. And you know what? Class is free, believe it or not. I'm sure on YouTube, there's probably a lot of classes in getting some too. Probably for free. I would check them out.
Yeah, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people have. Like, and the difference though is I'm not going to be adding shit like people do or taking shit out of context. It's going to be exactly for what it is. Period.
Wait, is she trying to tell you that you can't make a video?
No.
He said, who did you ask? I'm like, no.
Is she for real?
Yeah, she crazy.
That's not what she said. She said, the first comment she said was, why did you make a video talking about Nick? Who gave you permission? Bree didn't even drop the video yet.
It's not what she said. Nobody listens on that panel. What she said is, what would be the purpose of making the video? She was asking you, what the video was about. Now you could have said it's none of your business. It's none of your business. That's what you could have said, because all she wanted you to do was tell the story with the thought of the coercive control, to enlighten you about the coercive control. You have no interest in that, Bree. That's clear. You have no interest. Gypsy did no wrong. She could tell you anything. She could feed you shit and you would eat it thinking it tastes like cotton candy, for all I know. This woman didn't deserve what you did. You treated her terribly. She didn't deserve that. And, you guys showed yourselves. And to be honest with you, that doesn't look good on Gypsy. Gypsy is now affiliated with somebody, apparently, that likes to threaten people, and again, in most vicious way. So, yeah, I'd say Boston's on the right side there, right? It's almost over, guys, because, this is when Bree loses her TikTok. I don't know if it's permanent or not.
Exactly. So, I gotta start over the live because I just got a violation.
Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. That's disgusting. That's not part of the community that I'm a part of. Even on the opposite side, that's not the way people behave when they disagree. That's not showing any kind of argument. That's just showing, again, that you are disgusting and have no class. So, I don't know who that woman was that was talking so eloquently, the woman with the accent, but she didn't deserve that. And there was no need for that. Anyway, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Please don't behave like that. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. And yeah, don't behave like Bree, Boston, or Dreamer. The other woman, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who that was, but I think that she was trying to be fair. I don't know. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.